May the eternal sun shine upon thee. How? Greetings. Ah, I've been expecting you.
May the eternal sun shine upon thee. Hail. Be careful. Greetings, traveler. Go.
mercy on your soul.
Look upon the world, Cliffwalker!
What have you done, Cromgar?
War Chief! I was carrying out your command!
My command! Was my command to murder innocents, Cromgar?
War Chief! Sir, I...
Am I a murderer, Cromgar?
No! War Chief!
Then I ask you again, what have you done? I sent you into Stone Talon Mountains with an army. Your orders were to secure this land for the Horde. Instead, you laid waste to the land, murdered innocents, children even. I spent a very long time in Northrend, Cromgar. I learned much about the Horde in that time. While there, a wise old war hero told me something that I would carry with me forever. Honor, Cromgar. No matter how dire the battle, never forsake it. Overlord Cromgar, you have disgraced the Horde. You have brought shame to us as a people. By my right as War Chief, I hereby relieve you of duty. You are dismissed! And you...
Wait, War Chief, please. This is the hero responsible for uncovering this corruption. This one tried to stop Cromgar. Have mercy, War Chief.
Mercy. Your wife and child were murdered. Your kin wiped out. Your home burned to the ground. Mercy. Chieftain, on this day, I learn from you. Cromgar's army is no more. Your rank no longer has meaning. If you wish to truly help the Horde, your considerable power could be used in Desolace or in the Southern Barrens. The choice is yours to make. Let honor guide you. Do not forget that Hellscream's eyes are always upon you. What brings you here? Go in peace. words. Loktar Ogar. Victory or death.
Anu Belore de la Na.
What business have you? We will have justice. Death to all who oppose us.
Choose wisely.
What business have you?
Y'all act like
We will have
death is
justice.
permanent. Especially in this game.
Death to all who oppose us.
Farewell. Choose wisely.
Y'all act like death is permanent. Especially in this game.
Farewell. Death to all who oppose us. Death to all who oppose us.
What brings you here? Winds be at your back. May the eternal sun shine upon you. Winds be at your back. May the eternal sun shine. How may I aid you? Ancestors watch over you. How may I aid you? wish to speak, walk with the Earth Mother. Ancestors watch over you.
planet, our galaxy, android, evolution.
Total, giant books written on the topic, but there was a little section, again, when they were talking, somebody was talking about reforming taxation in Great Britain, and he was referring to the Stamp Act that happens in 1765, where Great Britain is trying to reclaim some of the money that they paid to defend the colonies during the French and Indian War. How are we going to get that money back? Let's figure out how to tax them. Let's come up with the Stamp Act, and we're going to tax, again, pieces of paper, just like we talked about here, legal documents, newspapers, all these different things. They decide they're not really going to adhere to it. They know that it will cause a lot of trouble, and they decide they're not going to exercise their taxation. But they do try to do that with the tea in 1774. They specifically, it's like, okay, here's some ships. We're going to put some tea on it, and we're going to go and we're going to collect that darn tax, right? And of course, the Tea Party happens. And the tax wasn't big. It wasn't any big deal, really. Which today we would just well, just pay it, just get it over with. But those guys were like, this is a principle issue here. We're not going to do that, and so we get a war all about basically principled issues. The amounts of money were not huge, certainly by today's standards. There was taxation is a really important topic, and why people are in some places are putting up with it, and other places, no way are we letting that happen. So it's an interesting topic that drives a lot of conflict in the 18th century.
So this question is from early on and is unrelated to Taxazine in any way. They were wondering what the fishing line was made from before we'd had plastics and monofilament and everything.
Excuse me. So they might use for like leaders and short sections before the line proper. You could use horsehair, braided horsehair. So it's less obvious in the water than something like a white line. So they would use regular it's like linen or hemp line and string, most likely for the regular line. Hemp and linen gets stronger when they're wet. Some fibers actually get softer and they don't work well for fishing line, but hemp and linen will strengthen up. So you could have a short piece of horsehair and then just regular line after that.
There you go. Okay. I think we're caught up mostly with questions. Okay.
Every week I try to get to the brand new and renewing YouTube members plus Patreon. I don't have any brand new Patreon people, but here are the new and renewing YouTube members. S. Fournier, Macaroni King, we saw him earlier there in the chat. Mr. LZ Music, Mel in Arizona, Len Art, John Talley, Lazy Lay 671, Mark Raymond, John Hayes, Michelle Hine, I think, and then Jim. Those are the super brand new, thank you so much kind of folks. We do have, speaking of things like that, we've got some new merch kind of items here. We've got a whole new set of mugs, and every single time they are crazy color changes and logos, and you never know what these folks are gonna pick out for new cool mugs. So this is the Nutmeg Traders mug, and it's this color that's called
Tropic Waters.
Ocean Swirl. No, Tropical Waters. This one is called. It's very I don't know, it's almost like a seafoam, but seafoam blue instead of seafoam
It's
green.
a little, to me, it looks a little bit opalescent. I think
Yeah.
this one's very eye-catching.
It's very eye-catching. There's that one. This one's called Green Goblin.
This one's tree bark. And
It's called tree bark.
You can't see it in this light, but it is quite green.
It's dark green. Make sure to look at the link that's in the chat because
Right.
the pictures there have true colors. Our colors, all like, it's tavern colored, everything. It's tavern colored. This one's got the flavor of the 18th century, little nutmeg design there on it. These must be like 12 ounces, not great big ones. Here's the Nutmeg Traders, and this one's this cool cobalt blue. You can just barely see that, but it's very beautiful.
in like
blue color.
natural light. It is
Yeah,
a true blue,
just
and this
gorgeous.
one's Atlantic Shoal.
It's called Atlantic Shoal. I think I would call it. No, I would call it something else. I get in trouble for the names I would give stuff. And this one has the nutmeg flavors of the 18th century. The flavor of the 18th century. This one's black and something. It's called Ebony and something Moss.
Ebony and Moss.
Ebony, I almost got it right. And there's that one. So those guys are available on the website. Also, a couple weeks ago, we talked about, after the playing card episode that we did here on the live stream, we came up with the 18th century playing cards that are in a modern card form, so you can actually, easily play with them. You, of course, could play cards with our standard 18th century playing cards, but I wanted ones that modern card players wouldn't go, God, I can't play anything with this. So those were coming in this cloth bag, and you can still buy them in the cloth bag, but we have them now in this beautiful tin box.
We were so worried they wouldn't fit, but they are the perfect.
So, playing cards, cool tin, playing cards in a cloth bag, mugs. What else do we need to cover?
I've got some questions here.
Yes.
So, we have a super chat from John Talley, just sending in some money. So thank you so much. And then we have a super chat from Azrael Nightquest. What inspired you to follow this path so devoutly? There are so many historical and historian channels. What inspired you to make your own and go in the style that you have?
I couldn't tell you about style. You know, everyone's style is their style. I think that one of the most interesting things I find about people that hand throw pottery is you can tell that this person made this piece. It's just the way it is, right? It's like handwriting or fingerprints or whatever. And I created, you know, it wasn't just me, but the people who have made this channel. We've made it the way we've made it because that's the way I have no idea why why it shows up the way it does. You know, some of that change is geared by the audience, because it's like, well, I want to see this kind of content versus that kind of content. I don't want to see funny videos. I'd rather see serious ones, or whatever that is, right? Sometimes we override those signals that we get from the audience, and we say, no, this is the way I'm going to make content, whether you like it or not.
But we did, like earlier on, we were doing funnier videos, and then you did like a just straight cooking video, and everyone loved it.
Right.
And you're like, okay, I guess I better listen.
Right. And so, you know, we took those cues, and I think it's just straight up a better way to communicate. That's all there is.
But our time period. So
yes. Why have I dipped into history? Why do we do history? Well, it was a business that my father started, and I have grown up in that. It's always been an interest of mine. So, but that was, you know, kind of instilled by my family and by my family's business, by my father specifically. It's just one of those. It's like, well, if I don't do X, then what else am I going to do? I'm going to do this, right? And you know, I guess it fits my interest in how I research things, how I gather information, and of course, you know, through the last 15 years here on the YouTube channel, definitely has affected the way I present information. So I don't know how to answer it other than that.
And I put a link in to the conversation you had with Grandpa years ago, and then the interview that Ryan did with you. So
okay,
kind of a little bit more in depth. And then we have some memberships gifted by Mickey Mike, and one from David Sampson. So I'm sorry, Daniel Sampson. So thank you very much.
Yes.
And let's see if I'm okay. And then there's a super chat from Max Sarcool. Happy Friday to all the folks in the Townsend Tavern. Hold on, I gotta make sure I'm all caught up. Okay, Spoon Style. Tony sends in a super chat. How much is the tax on the mugs?
Depends on what state you're in, doesn't it?
Did you run across any? I think when I was looking, there was a particular article in the newspaper, and it was talking about taxes on bread in Britain, and they were listing all the things that were taxed, and they mentioned a tax on tavern mugs.
Well, no, I didn't see that.
Yep.
There's so much information. Again, I mean, that's like government regulation, so it's all there's some document for it if you really want to look into it. It's there.
Okay, I think we're all caught up. I'm sorry, hold on.
Deadpool, New Jersey, is that the one we're looking for?
So, oh no, there's two more. Okay, so Deadpool, New Jersey says, "Cheers to all at the Nutmeg Tavern."
Thank you.
And then here's one from Azrael Nightquest. You have been referred to as the modern equivalent to Mr. Rogers in terms of wholesomeness and charm. How do you feel about that?
Pretty good. You know, I remember watching Mr. Rogers. It's like, okay, he might seem a little, you know, kind of little too chill at times. But I mean, he was a firebrand, wasn't he? No, I like the idea that anybody can watch our channel and get something out of it, be entertained by it, and not be, not be inappropriate for any audience. And I definitely want my content to be like that. I don't want to be one of those, well, my mother was in the room and I didn't want to watch that, that's not cool. So, but I'm not sure, I think it's a compliment. I certainly think so. Some people like to say it's, kind of Bob Rossi too, just kind of, chatting through things. It's definitely, I try not to make the idea that it's stressful or any of that. So we all need a no stress area.
Right? It's like a good thing to have. And then Devin Whiteside has gifted 50 Townsend's membership, so thank you.
Super thank you. Thank you very much. It's like a bunch of people jumping in.
That's right. Okay. And, so this is, here's a question. You'll love it. Teddy the Fourth, have you read any of the Patrick O'Brien books?
So, I don't know, what was it last week we did
Yes.
this? So, last week we did a whole live stream on naval vessels and the rigs and all that good stuff. I have been a fan of the Patrick O'Brien series, multiple, all of his books really, for the past 20 years or something like that. I have, sometimes I'll spend a lot of time listening to audiobooks, and sometimes it's like, I don't want anything that I have to, like chew on too much. So I'll just listen to, the entire Patrick O'Brien series in audio. And so I'm well versed in all the different novels. It's some of his standalone work, like The Golden Ocean. I mentioned that the other week. So, and Master and Commander, the movie, they did do an excellent job. But if there was ever a movie they should make a sequel to, hello.
That one.
But of course, no, they don't do that. It's like, that might be difficult. We don't know how to make a boat float on the ocean. It's not like the story's not there, It's like he writes a good story. Oh well.
So here's a super chat from Devin Whiteside. No need for thanks. I have gained so much from this channel.
Well, thank you, Devin. I'm glad.
Lovely to kind of bring people into the membership. That's
Right,
very fun.
right. So, excited by people enjoying the channel, and sometimes, learning something that sometimes people will kind of stumble on a little piece of knowledge that really changes their life, which is, I find odd.
But it's always nice. You're like, it's such an encouraging thing to, encourages you to keep on going when you hear stories like that. So that's always lovely thing to hear.
So let's go ahead. I'm gonna kind of sign out now, but you don't have to sign out. We're gonna play the Ron and Justine interview right here. They were in this chair while I was sitting here in the interview, and it was. Of course, had a wonderful time working with them. We shot a couple of episodes with them, and you will see them the next couple of weeks. And it was great working with them. We just laughed the entire time, and it was great. So enjoy this. Again, thank you all you Super Chat folks and the gifting the memberships and all that good stuff. If you purchase merch, again, thank you. I want you to have a tremendous weekend. Maybe we'll have some great weather. I hope I do, and nobody gets blown away or anything like that. So here we go with the interview, and enjoy your weekend. It's been a wonderful week with our guests, Ron and Justine from the Early American channel and Frontier Patriot, and I thought I would have them here in a quick interview for the live stream so that you guys would get to meet them. We'll ask some questions. Hopefully I will sort of mentally come up with all the questions that you have for Justine and Ron. Tell us a little bit about your channels, and why you started them.
I have, and I started the Early American YouTube channel. Ron has and started the Frontier Patriot channel. So we focus on the federal period, about 1790 to 1830-ish is our cutoff. And we cook the food on Early American, and then we taste and review the food on Frontier Patriot, because that's what food's all about, is eating it. And we've had the channel for about 4 years.
Yeah, I think 21 you started yours, and or no, maybe it was 20 and we met in 21, so time flies.
Yeah.
Right.
At least 3 years it's been going.
Yeah, and I had Early American for only maybe 4 or 5 months before I met Ron. And only a week after I met him, he was a victim in my first video.
Wow.
And the rest is history.
Yeah. So your episodes are definitely different than how we do them. So describe what your kind of episodes are like.
Mine, I'm a fly on the wall. That's how I do it. I don't normally talk people through what I do. I just wanted to picture it as in I'm a real person cooking in a kitchen, and naturally sometimes I talk to myself. You know, I need expert advice every once in a while. But normally I'm just sitting there cooking, looking out the window, and I wanted to capture that for people, and I also didn't want there to be a language barrier. So I usually do not talk in my videos. It's just the organic, natural sounds of cooking, of the fire, of nature.
What is your experience been like doing the channel? Just as a regular person, it's like what drove you to say I want to make this YouTube channel?
Well, I can tell you that this is what we're going to be doing for the rest of our lives. We've definitely found our niche. We absolutely love historic cooking. And I bought my camera the day before I filmed my first video. I had absolutely no clue what I was doing, but I was volunteering at a historic house at the time from 1820 while I was getting my bachelor's in history. And it's a living history kind of house. We're all in period clothes. And it's very hands-on, so they would leave us alone in the kitchen with the hearth, and if you were hungry, you could just fry up some potatoes, no one would stop you. And so for years I volunteered here, and I was left alone in the kitchen many times. I'd cook in it many times, and I'd stand back and look at the beautiful colors, and it was just speaking to me, and I wanted to capture the colors and the ambiance and the culture and the history of it as well. So I thought, well, I can take pictures. So I ordered a camera, but then I thought pictures ain't enough. So then I started filming myself making these receipts. I love, you could say, like the chemistry almost behind it, where it's like you add a bunch of ingredients in a bowl and you don't know how it's going to turn out, because these receipts don't have pictures usually that come with them. It's a mystery until the very end, and I love, love, love that aspect of it. We usually cook on our channel the dish for the very first time on the show. So we haven't made it previously. We have no clue how it's going to turn out.
Sometimes it doesn't turn out.
Sometimes it tastes terrible, and we'll be very honest with our viewers and just say, this gets a 2 out of 10, or this gets a 10 out of 10. But we just love that experience and sharing that experience with people.
Yeah, and we always encourage people to make it at home, and you be the judge of it, if it's good or not.
What's been your strangest YouTube experience?
Oh, we probably have different ones.
Mine is people come up to you and saying, "Oh my gosh, it's you." It's like, I'm just a regular dude.
Yeah, that just
I break character like that. It's like, how you doing? Nice to meet you. And they're just like, oh my gosh. And it's like, it's just me. That's the experience I've noticed that I have trouble with sometimes. It's sometimes it's too much. It's like, just calm down. It's just me. I'm just a regular guy.
Yeah. My strangest experience out of the 4 years we've been doing this is the fact that I can make a living out of history. Because when I told my dad I was going to major in history, I think, well, he thought, that's cool. Now, what are you really going to do as an adult? But we're here, we're doing it, and I'm working in a field that I absolutely love. So now my parents they're very proud of me for what I do. They've definitely embraced it. And
we also work part-time at a couple of houses in town, historic houses, and we work with school groups, whether it be university, people from the city coming down, or homeschool groups, and younger kids. And that part's really fun for me.
It is.
we have a junior militia unit. So it's almost like Boy Scouts, but 18th century style. And St. Genevieve, where we're from, is originally a French settlement, and it was under Spanish control in the mid-18th century. So we kind of touch on that a little bit, and that's what we do, and it's just fun.
We love getting letters from kids, especially.
I love the, I'm sure you guys get them too, artwork from kids.
Sure.
The little doodles and stuff, it's really cute. Those are things we'll keep forever.
So one of the main questions people ask me all the time is what my favorite dish has been that I've ever cooked. So, and I have a very hard time answering that. Do you have a good answer for that one?
No. I have an answer that can have 5 different things in it.
Exactly.
But the dessert dishes probably stand out more to me. Like a chocolate tart, we do a chocolate tart, and it's to die for. But there's things that are really, really good, and some things that are not good. I can tell you my least favorite.
Yeah.
That's easy to do. A shrimp pie. I didn't even taste it because I do not like seafood at all.
And no shrimp pie for you.
The bad thing is, thankfully the camera cannot smell. The shrimp that we actually used went bad. It went rancid. So the whole time it's just the cabin just smells horrible. But we remade it off camera, and so when she tried it, she was eating the good stuff.
The good one.
But I still wouldn't try it.
You know, funny that he said that was his least favorite. I'm actually going to say the shrimp pie was my favorite. The one that we remade.
Right, obviously.
Because it took me by surprise how good it was. It was just butter, salt,
He was just
pepper.
too chicken to eat it.
Yes.
He doesn't do seafood, so naturally he would say that. And you chop up the shrimp real small, and then you bake it in a golden flaky crust slowly, and it was the most buttery, delicious, but I love seafood. And I didn't expect it to taste good, so that was part of the fun.
What is your least favorite dish you've made?
Well, there was the one that Michael Dragoo brought in that it was like a crab whatever, and it was really bad.
Crab whatever.
It's crab whatever. It had crab, it had wine in it, and nutmeg, and this and that. It just did not work.
No.
I would say wine is probably, if anything has wine in it, we're not really wine drinkers, so if it's got it in it, we already kind of don't like it, the taste that it gives off, but maybe because we're using cheap wine, I don't know.
Well, there have been some that have been a standout with the wine that really kind of sets it off in a different way, but, I see where you're coming from.
What's your favorite dish that you've made?
He can't answer it.
Well, it is a tough one. I mean, there are different ones that come up at different times. The Parmesan ice cream was really, really good.
Probably because you didn't expect it to.
Well, and we didn't cook it either. That was actually done down at Conner Prairie, but they brought that one in, and that one is definitely one of those standouts that I remember.
I imagine it was kind of salty. I've never had it before.
Yeah, it's sweet and salty at the same time, and I'm a big Parmesan fan anyway, so it was a super, super good ice cream.
You kind of have to keep an open mind with these historic receipts, and if you keep an open mind, you might be pleasantly surprised.
Oyster pie.
Yeah, they just seem to be doing a lot of, some of it is just tried and true. This is just, standard, farm cooking, Indiana seems like, and then other times they're reaching way out there for some kind of, this is something really new. And I'm like, no, it's not.
They're trying.
You know, actually, there is one dish that really did surprise me. We cooked raccoon, and it tasted like beef.
Okay.
The way that we prepared it, I believe we stewed it some, or we boiled it to get the fat off of it because it's kind of greasy fat, and then we stewed it slowly, and it tasted like a
kettle
really
beef.
Like kettle beef.
Really good kettle beef.
Very tender, and it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know the difference.
If you super slow cook a lot of things, you can make it very palatable. I've had snapping turtle, which is, if you cook it right, is really, really good. Most of the time, a lot of those things can be real tough and nasty or gamey flavor. But
it's all in how you cook it.
Yeah, and today's wildlife, if we're going out and eating a raccoon, it's probably eating nothing but corn all day long anyway. So it's not like it's some strange thing.
No, don't eat the city raccoons.
Yeah. No, not the city ones.
No.
Trash can cartoon.
They're eating out of the dumpsters.
No, don't eat that.
So what is your most asked question?
This is an easy one.
Answer it?
Our most asked question is, do you really live like that 24/7?
Right.
Maybe 3 days out of the week. I'm in britches more than I am jeans.
Okay.
Well, we're very open about it on Frontier Patriot. We talk about our our old Jeep and our old Chevy truck and all that. When you go to a Civil War reenactment, 99% of those people, they go home to a modern house at the end of the day. It's our passion, it's our hobby, we love what we do, but we walk a tight line between the 21st century and the 18th and early 19th century. Have you ever been asked that question too?
I've been asked the question, or people just assume it, right? They see all the things we do on the channel and they think, you know, somehow I have to live like that. When if you do a YouTube channel, you're obviously using high technology all the time.
Yes.
You have to know about camera lenses and the internet and audio devices and all these, you know, crazy technology that all go into making a YouTube channel. It's not like I'm the hermit and, you know, people come in and, you know, it's a documentary. Look at this strange being, you know, so, yeah.
It's a good thing to get for them to assume that, because that means you're really convincing them and doing a good job of portraying the lifestyle back then.
And, you know, the videos are a very good representation of the best of what's happening. So people, you know, will say, I want to come and visit the cabin or something like that. And it's like, well, you know, the cabin is cold and damp and it's got holes in the wall and it leaks or wasps or whatever, right? And you don't see any of that in the video. It makes it look perfect in the video. And so it's like, if you want to see the cabin in its best, then watch the video. Don't come and visit the cabin. It'll ruin it.
Yes.
It's like coming to the Nutmeg Tavern, you know? It's like you see the Nutmeg Tavern on your side and then you come here, it's like, well, that's not the same thing.
It's all fun and games until it's the middle of January and it's 22 degrees and it's sleeting outside and you have a wild, angry skunk that lives under the floorboards. True story.
It is. We got a skunk that lives under the floor. When you walk in there, he gets mad and starts barking or, you know, making some noises, so...
There's beautiful days, and then there's other days where the fantasy of it would be blown to pieces if you actually came there.
Smoky and rainy.
During the summertime, it's 120 degrees in there, which I'm sure it gets hot in here even. And it's miserable. You don't want to be there.
We had someone actually make a money offer on buying our cabin once because they really wanted to live.
No, you don't.
You do not want to live in that cabin. You can do so much better.
I mean, if you're homeless, you know, questionable. I'd do it. But
better than nothing, yeah.
It's a roof over your head.
Well, thanks for coming into the Nutmeg Tavern. Thank you for your travels up here to be on the channel. Hopefully your experiences were fun cooking.
Oh, lovely.
We really enjoy being here. I've watched for years now, and that's actually how I found her channel. Because the algorithm, if you will, recommends things. So my thing, I'd get home and Friday, all right, I'll watch the live streams on Townsend's. And then I got recommended Early American. What's this? Who's this really beautiful?
You're a match baker. Did you realize that?
Excellent.
But we're super excited to be here and see all the secrets and behind the scenes and we knew what to expect because the magic, we have to make that happen every week too. So
we are completely honored that you had us here.
I'm so glad you were able to come up, and we had a lot of fun.
Yes, we did. And I hope we can come up again because we had a great time.
For a real contest.
Yeah, maybe we'll make that happen when it's not cold and rainy. Today it was snowing out. So we were going to shoot a contest outside.
Thank you for being merciful.
Thank you, folks, for coming.
What brings you here? Ah, I've been expecting you. Winds be at your back. Walk with me. What brings you here? Winds be at your back. Walk with me.
Go in peace. May the eternal sun shine upon thee. Greetings, traveler. Go in peace. May the eternal sun shine upon thee.
ancestors watch